In my last video, I improved the UI on my most recent Roblox game called Happy Clickers. And for those of you who have been around for a while, I like to give you guys access to copies of the projects that I make so that you can make tons of Robux yourself. But I can't give you guys this version of Happy Clickers because the map contains assets that I'm not allowed to redistribute. So in today's video, I'm going to be making a new map in the next hour for you guys to use in your games. Okay, so we're gonna start off by scaling a part to a size of about 250 by 250 for the grass of the map. Before we do anything else, we gotta fix this lighting because, you know, the default Roblox lighting is not really the best. If you guys want these lighting settings for your own project, I'll have the settings linked down below in the description. Alright, now for the actual map, let's go ahead and pick where we want the spawn location to be along with the points of interest within the map. I typically like to have the spawn in either the corner of the map or near one of the sides so that the player can be guided across the map to discover new features as they progress through the game. So now that we have the basic outline completed for the map, let's go ahead and bring in some assets from other projects to make this more appealing. Because you know, if someone joined the game right now in this state, I think they would be pretty confused. Alright, so first let's replace all of the points of interest with some nicer looking platforms. And we can go ahead and change the spawn part to the color of the beige platform. And now that I think of it, I think we're going to need to delete this circle and replace it with a more unique shape. To do this, I like to use a small part and open this plugin called Archimedes, which allows you to make smooth curves, typically for paths or circular structures. I also went ahead and added a darker section just to give it some more variety and make it feel less empty. Alright, this is definitely looking much better than the circle that we had before. But now we need to go ahead and make some paths to guide people around the map from this spawn area. To do this, I use the same plugin as I mentioned before. A big tip for any of you trying to make nice looking paths, I suggest that you never change the angle in which you adjust the parts for a much cleaner and more consistent style. Also for my paths, I typically make a big circle around the map and then add some inner paths that link to the points of interest. After finishing the paths, I thought it would be cool if we made a more grand pathway leading to the portals, since that is likely going to be the main path that the more experienced players take when they join the game. And with that finished, we're pretty much done with the fundamental layout of the map. Now that we know how much space we're going to need in the map, we can go ahead and bring in the border parts and make a big wall around the whole map. To do this, I just made a row of like 5 border parts and copy and pasted it all around the map. Now we can go ahead and add some of the smaller details to the map, such as trees, rocks, and grass parts. I started off with large trees around the borders of the map, and then I went over to adding in the larger rocks. I tend to start with the larger filler parts first so that I make sure I don't overdo the filler parts, and it's also easier to just add in the smaller parts around the larger ones to accompany them. Once I felt like there were enough rocks, I started pasting a bunch of grass models around the map for some extra detail, and then added in some smaller trees as the inner parts of the map. But there were still a lot of big open green spaces, so I decided to place a few of the terrain parts within the map to help fill the open space and add more variety to the map. And to help them fit in better, I went ahead and placed some rocks along the bottom as sort of a transition. At this point, the map was coming along pretty well, and I still had a good 20 minutes to spare. So I decided to add in a waterfall to get some additional colors in the map other than the brown and green. And to help it stick out even more, I placed a bunch of rocks along the border part that the waterfall was coming out of. After finishing the waterfall, I went ahead and selected all of the border parts and duplicated them like I do with all of my maps that I make. I know I say this every time, but it's such an easy way to make the map look much more complete. After duplicating the border parts, I decided to change the color of a few of the parts surrounding the waterfall since I still feel like there was too much green in the map overall. At this point, I had just under 15 minutes left with the project, so I went around and made some finishing touches to the map before going into my previous projects and getting all of the models for the different points of interest that will be included in the map. I first placed the leaderboards near the spawn, since that's typically where people place leaderboards in their games. I also placed the wheel spin near the spawn since it's a free way for players to progress quicker even when they first join the game. The shop and starter eggs were obviously other points of interest that needed to be placed near the spawn area of the map since they are essential parts of the progression. And then one last thing I placed in the spawn was the Titanic pet, since we obviously want to get some Robux out of the players by always throwing it in their face. Now with the spawn area finished, I went ahead and placed all of the portals in and added a new second platform so that we could fit all of the 5 portals. And finally, I put the VIP portal over in its own area since there wasn't really anything else over here. Alright guys, just like that, our hour is up. I'm really impressed with what I was able to do in just 1 hour compared to what I used to make in this time period. We've definitely improved a lot in the last few months. Anyways, if you guys want this map for yourself, I'll have a download available down in the description. Also join my Discord server if you want to win thousands of Robux and be part of my future videos. See you guys in another month, maybe sooner.